Hi. I'm going to video this for you so that you know how to put the mask together. I got the pattern from the CDC. I cut 6 inches by 9 inches rectangles. I'm using 100% cotton and 100% cotton flannel. So that's my lining. It gives a little, a thicker filter for you. So I put them face to face. So I'm going to put them together like this. So the wrong sides are on the outside. Okay. Sometimes I use the flannel. I flip it if I want a lighter color, depending, but right now we're going to do face to face, right sides to right sides. You're going to meet up the corners like that. Let's see it better right there. Okay. Then what I did, I kind of did this all at the same time. I made a bunch. I cut them all at the same time. Cut a stack of the 6x9s, and I cut a stack of the flannel 6x9s. And then I cut 7-inch floral wire. You can see that. Do it this way so you can see it. It's just regular floral wire. It's easily shaped. And then after I cut it, I used my needle nose pliers and I curled the ends so that when you put it into the mask, it's not going to pop through the fabric and poke somebody in the face. So I did that. Then I cut, let me see if I measure this right, 6.5 to 7 inches of 1/8 inch elastic. I've got some masks that I use the 1/4 inch elastic, but it's awful thick on the ears and people are complaining that it's hurting behind their ears. So I'm using the thinner one. Plus, if you look at the surgical mask, which I don't have a sample of, they're actually using the fine, almost a felt-like elastic. So I thought this would be a lot better, and it has been a lot easier to do. So I'll show you a couple that I've done. This one I just made this way. So I had a friend that was wearing it, so I thought, well, we'll see how it goes. But this is the finished product, and then I'm going to show you how to put it together. But this is where the floral wire is, so that you can bend it and shape it across your nose, okay? The flannel's on the inside, the cotton's on the outside. I just did a very easy fold up and stitched, catching the elastic in, but I'm going to show you how to do that. This one here, I folded it like this, and it's the same effect. It's just a lot easier. I don't have to measure those folds out, and it gives you the same kind of protection. And the floral wires, I still did that in there too. You just can't see it on that side. Being that it's 100% cotton, I throw it in a ditty bag, one of those mesh bags, and wash it. And then just regular wash, warm, throw it in with the laundry. Excuse me. And then hang it up to dry. I might get interrupted here in a minute. Leo's going to come in and say hi. Leo, I'm videoing how to do these masks. Okay, so I don't know if you saw that. I put the floral wire at the edge, about 1/4 inch in, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, and it's all good. Then I'm going to put the thread, catch the fabric in between the foot of my machine. Now the thread that I'm using is just regular dual dirty. I've got so much of this kind of thread, so I'm just using what I have. It's, it's old, but it's polyester blend probably. What is it? Yeah, it's cotton covered, mercerized, cotton covered polyester. I'm using that. I'm using whatever I've got because I'm giving them away. I'm not charging anybody. I figure some people don't have a sewing machine. I might as well sew for them. So I've got it on like a 2.5 inch stitch, just a straight stitch, and I'm only going to straight stitch till I get to the wire. Okay, sometimes I got to grab this thread at the end so I can help the fabric through because it's not catching on both feed dogs, which is the part of the sewing machine that pulls the fabric through. So when I get to that, I pull my needle up. I'm going to do a zigzag, and I put it at a 4.0, so that's the width of the zigzag. And I'm going to catch across, being very careful not to hit the wire like I just did, because what that does is that could either bend or break my sewing machine needle, or what I've done a couple times is I've actually broken the wire right in half and it goes down into my machine, which is not a good thing to do. You gotta take care of your sewing machine. So then after I'm done with, get past that floral wire, I put it back on the straight stitch and then finish it out. So this is what it looks like. Okay. And then you can see where it's straight stitched. Now what I do to reinforce it, because when I flip it inside out, I don't want that wire poking through. So I go back, catch it right on the inside of that feed dog. Let me show you real quick. You can see that. I'll bring it this way. You can see that. Then I'm going to catch it. See where the straight line is? And that's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to feed that all the way through. Just like that. Challenging with one hand. Okay. Really? I should be doing this with two hands. It's not a one-man show. One-hand show. Okay, so here. And then I'm finishing that out. Okay. Lift the feet. Cut my thread. And then that's what I have. Okay. Oh, I hope I was showing you guys. Okay, so that's what I have. I've got the straight stitch and the zigzag. Sorry about my hand. All right, so we're going to look like that. Okay. And I'll show you why that's important when I get to when I flip the fabric inside out. Cut the threads off as you go. I'm going to go along this bottom edge right here and do a straight stitch. Just lining the fabric up with the edge of the feed dog, and I'm using a quarter inch presser foot. And I'm just pulling it through. So I got a straight stitch along the side. Okay. Actually, I think that this foot is a 5/8 of an inch. All right, so this is what I've got. I've got this stitching here and then the stitching here at the bottom. Okay. I'm going to take my elastic and I'm going to put my elastic on the inside here. Okay. Like that. And what I'm doing is I'm lining up that elastic to meet the edge of the fabric. Okay. And I'm butting it up to that stitch. Because when I stitch, I want it to catch it and I want it to have that seam allowance. Okay. So I'm going to sew from that corner, sew from the top of the fabric down, and then when I get across that elastic, I'm going to back stitch. So that's one back stitch and then forward. That means I've gone over the elastic 3 times. It's going to hold it in when they're yanking it to put it on. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch down. Get about halfway. Put the needle in so you don't move your fabric. Reach in there and grab the other end of that elastic. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see what I just did. See, I've got the other end of the elastic right there. Okay. So I'm going to pull it and I'm going to line it up to that edge, just like I did with the top. See, you can't, it's flush with the edge there. I'm going to hold it in place so it doesn't pop out, and I'm going to continue to stitch down. Again, when I get to the end, I'm going to stitch over it and back stitch and come back again. Okay, cut the threads off. Then I'm going to clip the corners. What this does when you clip the corners, and literally I just barely clip the corners. You can see that. okay, on both sides. That's what it looks like. All right, oh, not that one, this one here. Okay, because what that does is when you turn the fabric inside out, it's going to give you a sharper point. If you've got too much fabric bulking up there, it's going to give you a big bulky corner. So I'm doing the elastic again on this side, but it's going to be different because I'm not going to stitch all the way down. I'm going to leave an opening in the middle so that I can flip the fabric out. Okay, so I'm doing the elastic like I did before. I'm lining it up along the edge of the fabric, like that. Okay, I don't know if you can see it like that. This is the elastic right here, right there. Okay. All right, line the fabric up with the edge of the foot. When I say the edge of the foot, that's what I mean. Here, let's do it like this. Okay, so it's not going to let me do that. Okay, so see how I've got the fabric on the edge there? Okay. Don't laugh at me. I've not done this before. Okay. I want you to see the shading without losing my phone. All right. All right, so I'm sewing, stitching through. I'm going to get past the elastic, sew back over it. That'll be 3 times pass. I'm going to come down to almost a third, okay? I'm going to back stitch because I want that to be strong. And then when I come back, I'm going to cut the thread off at that point, okay? Make sure to clip your threads so that it's less messy. So I've gone that far. I'll show them. Okay? So like I said, it's about a third. Then I'm going to pull the other piece of elastic through here. See how that is? And I'm going to put it right here. Just like I did on the other ends. I'll flip this open, put the elastic here like a sandwich, line it up here. All right, so I've done that. So that's kind of what it looks like, but you have to hold on to it because if you let go, it's going to snap back, and that kind of stinks. So what I'm going to do is I'm flipping my fabric, and I'm going to go from the other side. Okay, hold it down, stitch over the elastic, go back, triple stitch, and then you're going to get to the third and back stitch. Okay, so this is what you're going to have. All right, you see that? See how that's stretchy? All right, I'm clipping the corners. So I have a nice straight, clip my threads. And now when I go to flip it, I'm going to put my fingers in here and pull my fabric, kind of work my thumbs out, push the fabric out, okay? You want to be careful not to get it all bunched. You want to kind of do it kind of straight, get it started, grab a hold of your elastic, and then just kind of work it through because you've got that floral wire in there. You don't really want to be bending it and, tangling it up too much. You got it secure with the thread. Sorry, this is difficult doing it backwards. So you find it there. There's your other piece of elastic. So you're going to grab a hold of that. Grab a hold of this. Okay. And that's how you're going to do that. See how that works? See how you left that open? I'm going to show you how to sew that up here in a minute without making extra stitches. It doesn't look pretty. So you want to kind of pull the corners, straighten them out. See how nice and flat those corners are? If you didn't clip them, that fabric wouldn't have any place to go and it'd be nice, big, and bulky at that corner. And it's not very comfortable. Okay, so what I'm doing is pulling just a little bit, kind of wiggling it out, each of the corners, pull the elastic, wiggle it out, pull that elastic, wiggle it out. Okay, so when I get to that part, I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to kind of catch it and pull it, okay? Now, if you haven't sewn, before, or you're novice at this, You get up and use the iron if you want. I don't. I just finger press it. But I want to make sure that my seams are pulled taut, okay? Or pulled tight. So here's my wire. See how it's crooked like that? I'm going to pull it, and I'm going to kind of straighten it out with my fingers like that. I'm just going to pull it across, okay? I'm going to pull and do the same thing. Excuse me. And pull that so that the wire is straight. See how I'm kind of grabbing that with my fingernails, okay? I'm sorry, I don't have any other place to put my phone. Okay, and I'm doing it around the other edge too, pulling that seam out. And I'm doing it on the other side too, because I want it all straight. When I get to the seam right here, see, this is the open seam. I'm going to kind of fold it in together like it was already sewn. And I'm going to press it with I'm just going to finger press it. And like I said, if you want to get up, do the iron, you can do that. I just sit here and end up sewing anyway. So I just have my little assembly and keep going. All right. So this is the side that has the wire. All right. Before I do anything, I need to make sure that wire is secure. So I'm going to do one more long stitch, just one straight line that goes across the top. Remember, that's this part. I'm doing the seam right here, right now. Okay, that's going to keep that wire in that pocket. You want to line it up with about the edge of your foot. That's about the distance between the needle and the edge of the fabric. And you want to go slow because you don't want to catch the needle on that wire. Okay, so this is going to end up being about 5/8 of an inch or a 1/2 inch away from the top because of where the wire is ending up. Because it's not perfectly straight in there, and that's okay, but you just don't want it to be poking down or poking out of the seam. The zigzag keeps it. So I zigzagged the floor wire inside, and then I did that straight line. That straight line is this line here, and that protects the wire from coming out. Okay, so this is the line that I just sewed. So I have the straight line inside and this line here, and it's keeping that floral wire on the inside. Okay, I'm going to snip my loose threads close, because I'll show you why. Because it's a lot easier to do it while you're going rather than at the end when you've got all this different seams and everything running over top of each other. Then you can't pull your strings out, and it doesn't look pretty. All right, so what I'm going to do, you see it better that way. I'm going to fold it down. How do I want to do this? How did I do that one? Fold it down and back on it. Okay, that's what I did. So I'm going to fold it down and then back on itself. Okay, so you're kind of going to the middle of the mask. So you're going to pull it down in here and then roll it, go up. You don't really have to measure it. It just kind of comes out that way. See how I did that? You see how that is right there? Let me see if I can hold it up and show you. Let me get it a little bit more even. And don't be stressed about it. Just, you're sewing, and, you know, just measure twice, cut once. All right. Let's see if I can show you that's better. Okay. See how that is? That'll be a lot easier. And then you're going to see it like this on the front. Okay. Or you can move it up and pull your, I think I like it better that way. So you're going to pull it up a little bit more. So it's like that. So it's even, so you're not going to see it on either side. We'll do it like that. There's no science. You just do it as you go. Okay. Now, this is kind of hard because it doesn't want to catch sometimes. You only want to take a couple stitches, and then you want to hit your back stitch because you want to lock this stitch in place. Grab those tails because it's going to help you pull your material through the needle without getting your fingers close. Okay? Then you're going to hold it, make sure this other half is down, press it down so it doesn't flip up in front of the foot. You're going to get to the end, hit the back, a couple stitches, locks it in, okay? Snip your threads so it'll be nice and pretty. So somebody's going to want to wear it. Because if you've got threads all flying around, it's going to irritate you and you're not going to want to wear it. All right. So this is kind of cool because, like I said, this is the end that was left open. I didn't stitch it. I'm finding a lot of people are kind of doing a stitch on top, and then when you close it, you have like two stitches. I catch it all at the same time. See, this is the open part. Okay. See there? But I'm going to catch it in this stitch. So it's all going to be closed. Okay. You're going to put it in here, make sure it's lining up to the edge of your presser foot. Start your stitch, 1, 2, 3. Go back, hit your backs because you want to lock that stitch in. Grab your tails, help pull it. Don't pull it so hard that it's going to pull your stitch out. Just help it so that your machine's not working so hard. Keep going till you get the end. Push that back stitch, lock that in place, and pull it out, okay? And I'll show you how it turned out. And like I said, you can make as many folds or as many less folds as you want. So you've got this. Sorry, I hit the lid of my sewing machine. Pull it up, put it across, goes over your ears, pull it up over your nose, pinch it. There you go. Okay, and that's how it looks. When you pinch it like this and you're wearing glasses, it helps to prevent your glasses from fogging up. Okay. Then when you go to wash it, you just throw it in the ditty bag and wash it. Another thing about the washing, I pre-washed all my fabrics because what will happen is it's 100% cotton, it's going to shrink. So you want to make sure that the fabric doesn't shrink after you've given it to somebody, because that kind of stinks. And then it changes sizes, and your adults, it's not going to fit. It's going to be too short. It's going to shrink this way, and it's going to waste your fabric. So make sure before you cut anything, while your fabric is still in the half a yard or however many yards you're using, that you pre-wash everything. Just wash it on warm water and dry it. Do everything. Regular soap. I put fabric softener on because it smells good. You can do lavender, whatever, you know, whatever. I've done, so when I make my stacks, literally, I cut them all. I stack my fabric. I cut my fabric. That way I can sit here and just have an assembly line. And I've made I probably made over 300 masks, and I've given them out to the patients and the nurses at the cancer center. I've sent them to family members and friends. I know that you want to do this as a little business, and that's fine too. I'm in a position where I'm grateful that I can do it as a gift. Being a nurse practitioner, it's my way of giving back. It's my charity that I give to my patients. So I hope you enjoy. This is more therapeutic for me than it is for anything else. And so the materials you'll need, I don't quite know how many. Let's see. So if this is, you're cutting the fabric, I'll write the instructions down and give it to you. So it's 6 by 9. I use the width of the fabric. Actually, you know what? I think it's 7. I'm so sorry. It's 7 inches by 9 inches. It's 7 inches this way, 9 inches this way. I'm sorry. So I'll write them down to you so that you'll have them. But good luck. Call me if you need anything. I'll talk to you later. Love you. Bye.